Recorded today. Once again, my name is Denai Venners. Thank you for joining our March into Better Health. This is our second session, and today we have Miss Candy Underwood from NC Cooperative Extension. She's going to be talking to us about healthier eating and also doing a demonstration for us. So also, if you want to change your view later on, if you click View Everyone and change it to who's talking, it'll make your screen bigger so you can see the demo better. So, Miss Candy, you have it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Glad to see so many faces. I am Candy Underwood, and I work over at the Cooperative Extension Service near the Crown Coliseum. And my areas are nutrition and food safety. And I was asked today to do a cooking demonstration for you. And I thought we would cook and eat like those in the Mediterranean region, because a lot of the people that eat the Med way, it is shown to promote a healthy diet, as well as it decreases the risk of many chronic diseases. And they do eat a little different than what we eat here. And I wanted to share a few of those steps with you about eating the Med way, just so you can see a little bit difference. And most of it takes place in that change of protein. And you'll notice that they replace some of the meat in their diet with plant proteins, such as beans, nuts, and seeds. And you're going to see that in the recipe we're going to make today. We're going to be adding some mushrooms to our mushroom beefy tacos. Also, they eat a lot of fish and seafood, at least 2 to 3 times per week. And of course, you want to put some salmon in there for that omega-3. And you'll see, we here like to eat a lot of fried fish, but they only eat fried fish occasionally over in the Mediterranean region. In choosing white meat, you want to choose turkey or chicken breast, and normally they only eat that twice a week. And they limit their red meats. And if they do eat any red meat, it's going to be lean meat. And this recipe that we have today is 97% lean beef, and I even drained it, and I still have a little bit of fat that came off of that. And I don't know, when you brown your meat, I actually rinse my meat after I drain it, just to get even more of the fats off of the meat. And then completely eliminate your processed meats like bologna, hot dogs. They don't eat any of that kind of stuff over there. For your fats, they eat use a lot of olive oil. Now, the recipe today comes from the Med curriculum, and it doesn't use olive oil, it uses vegetable oil, but it's okay. But you just want to stay away from a lot of those solid fats like your butter and your margarines. And use your olive oils in all your cooking, if you make dressings, and even your marinades. Our vegetables is pretty much what we eat here. You want to get at least 5 cups of fruit and vegetables a day. You want to eat a lot of dark green leafy vegetables, which we should do here. And you want to include a lot of berries, blueberries, raspberries, in your diet. And choose a variety of colors. And then also you want to eat a lot of nuts and seeds, but you'll see you want to eat at least 3 small handfuls of nuts or seeds a week, watching your calorie intake. But this doesn't include like our honey roasted peanuts or our peanuts that have candies on them, or any kind of heavily salted peanuts or nuts. I know I picked up my daughter from school today, and they were eating pickled, flavored sunflower seeds. And so just be careful with what kind of nuts you eat and how many nuts you eat. And all of us know we should eat whole grain when picking our breads or any type of our grains. We want to pick our whole wheat grains or whole grains. But today what we're going to do is we're actually going to cook a recipe, and it's called mushroom beef tacos. And I have already browned my meat, so it's ready. But the first step in the ingredients that we're going to have today is it calls for 4 cups or approximately 8 ounces of white mushrooms. It calls for 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, a large onion firmly chopped. I like sweet onions, so I just picked that over a yellow onion because I just like the way it tastes. And then it's 2 tablespoons of homemade taco seasoning. And I know this was shared with you, but in your taco seasoning, this is going to make about 16 servings. And it's a 1/3 cup of chili powder, 3 tablespoons of paprika, 3 tablespoons of ground cumin, 3 tablespoons. It's got a Mexican oregano, but you can use regular oregano, which I did. A tablespoon of black pepper, and then a teaspoon of cayenne. And if you want to add more, you can. But I just store it in a little mason jar, so when I get ready to use it, I'll have it ready for me. So that's your taco seasoning, which you can use again. And then it has 4 tablespoons of tomato paste, and then 1 pound of ground beef, 97% lean. You're going to cook it and well drain it. And then you can also use turkey or chicken if you wanted to. So we're going to go ahead and start with our mushrooms. When it comes to preparing mushrooms, you have to rinse them off. As you can see, I've cleaned them all, but this one, you know, they're low to the ground, so they're probably going to have a little bit of dirt or whatever on them. You don't want to soak your mushrooms because they're like little sponges. So I just get a damp paper towel and I'll just wipe off any kind of dirt I may see and get underneath side. Now, some people will just rinse them under the water, but you don't want to do that unless you're going to cook them right then. But I just will wipe them off with a paper towel, a damp paper towel. And it has, we're going to chop these finely, and you can use a food processor if you have one. Personally, I don't like cleaning a food processor. It's just so much trouble to me to clean it. So I get a chef's knife, or if you have a little chopper like this at home, you can use one of those. That's that's the old-fashioned kind. That's the kind I grew up with. So I like those. But what I'll normally do is I'll cut my mushroom in half. That way I have a flat side, so when I'm working on my cutting board, it won't roll around on me. So I'm going to cut a few of these in half. And I'll show you a little trick, and you may know it already, but if you just leave your knife, you're not going to pick it up. You're just going to hold, I don't know if you can see me, you're just going to hold the tip down, and you're just going to raise it up and lower it. You're not going to take it off the board. And we're just going to keep going and chopping this really fine. And we'll start working on these so I'm just going to cut them a little bit like this so I can go a little better. Just slice them. Now, if you buy sliced mushrooms that are already sliced, again, if you rinse those off, do them right before you cook. So I'm just going to get this knife and just go back and forth. And this knife to me is a whole lot easier to clean than a food processor, because there's so many pieces to it. And I know there on that last slide, there's actually a website. It's called Eating the Medway, med instead of meds. And you can actually print some more recipes off of there if you want to try. And they have drinks, side dishes. Do y'all like mushrooms?
I do not, Candy. That was about to be my question. Not a fan.
I have not tasted this recipe, y'all, but I have a lot of the agents in other counties when they have done a food demonstration. They said it tastes really good. So you may not even be able to taste the mushrooms, but I am going to taste it when I'm done, and I'll give you.
I actually think I might have a slight allergy to mushrooms.
Okay. And what we're going to do after I get these cut, we'll turn the skillet on, and we're going to let them cook all the moisture out of them. Whatever moisture is in them, we're going to cook it out. And then we're going to set them aside. And it's a really simple recipe. And again, this is 4 cups or 8 ounces of mushroom. I know my director, her family is from Israel, and she loves eating this type of food. I'm one that I have to, taste it. But I've heard this is a really good recipe. But do check out the other recipes on that website.
And I've put the link to the website in the chat box for everyone.
Okay. Now I know with this recipe, it has it that you can serve it with a ginger mango salsa, and that's one of the recipes that is listed too.
Do you think it would give the same vibe if you were using ground turkey instead of ground hamburger?
Yeah, I think it'll be I mean, to me, you really can't tell the difference when you start adding sauce to it. And,
okay.
Because will make spaghetti with ground turkey or chili with ground turkey, and I can't really tell the difference. I almost bought ground turkey, and I thought, well, I'll just use beef.
I haven't signed up for one of the county plots, but they release those yearly with the wellness program and having a garden spot if you'd like. And I know in the last section, Natasha Lax was mentioning different things that you can grow in your garden, and mushrooms was one of those things, but I'm still not a fan. I think it's a texture thing though.
To me, if it's small enough and it's not a big piece, that's like with onions. I like my onions chopped really fine. I do not like chunks of onion. And I know I have a niece that doesn't like onion. And so I made spaghetti, but I chopped them really fine, and she didn't even know they were in there.
Yeah, I need you to trick me like that too.
Same with carrots. That's how I used to get a few veggies in my daughter. I would grate carrots and put it in spaghetti.
Yeah, before I realized I might be slightly allergic to mushrooms, I had mushrooms for the first time, and I couldn't even taste them. Like, it had no taste to me. So I might just have to eat them.
All right. I think that's good. All right, so we're going to let these sweat and get all the moisture out of them. It says it'll take it's over medium-high heat. It says about 5 to 7 minutes. And I didn't add all of the mushroom. There's probably 4 mushrooms in there. And again, you can, tweak it if you want to. So we're going to let this warm up for us. Do y'all like to cook?
I don't really like to cook, but I like to eat.
I like to eat. Yeah.
I like to cook if I have time. You know, I know when I get home from work, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to cook anything. But sometimes when I cook at work, it inspires me to go home to cook. Because I know I did a class on making homemade pasta one time. And I went home and made homemade pasta and had chicken parmesan, homemade chicken parmesan. It was good.
I did find a smidge of motivation in COVID when we were quarantined, and I did try to like make things off of recipes, but that was only a few times, and that ended very early.
If the recipe is short and I don't have to be in the kitchen for a long time, then I'll definitely cook. But the longer I have to stay in the kitchen, the less motivation I have to make.
Right. And this one is really simple, and it doesn't have that many ingredients. That's another thing I look at. If it's got more than 5 ingredients, I'm not doing it. Okay.
Now, you were saying, Candy, about the health benefits of this Mediterranean style food. So for like people who are doing like keto or other meal restricting types of diets, you would still recommend the Mediterranean one over those?
Yes. I've heard, you know, we talked with a specialist up in Raleigh, and one of our specialists is not really a fan of that diet. So I think this would probably be a better option. But I've known people, who've lost weight, losing that diet, on that diet. But really, if you cook in moderation and really eat according. Remember the pyramid that we used to have? I like the pyramid better than I do the plate. But I tell people if you would eat the size that we're supposed to eat, the serving sizes, then we would be okay. There's still a little bit of moisture coming out of them. Not much. You can just kind of, see little bubbles. I don't have an overview camera here.
So I know Tamara was asking earlier about not being able to use mushrooms because she doesn't like the texture. So what would be something that you can use instead of mushrooms?
You could use some type of bean if you wanted to. Just, can crush it up in there. Just so you get that plant, any kind of really plant-based. Trying to think of a bean that I would want. Like in chilies and things, I don't really care for kidney beans. So I'll use like northern beans or pinto beans. That's what I'll normally put in there. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to remove our mushrooms. We're going to add our oil, which is 1 tablespoon. And then we're going to add our onion to this. And we're going to cook our onion for about 1 to 2 minutes. trying to get a little bit of that goodie off the bottom. And I cooked my ground beef in here. I did wipe it out afterwards to get any kind of oil or fat out of there. But I didn't wash it. I just wiped it. And again, this recipe makes 8 servings. And a serving size is a half a cup. Remember that, half a cup, not a cup. Half a cup.
So you should be able to stretch the half a cup across 2 tacos?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to add our taco seasoning, which is 2 tablespoons of this. And we're going to add our tomato paste, which is 4 tablespoons. And it does say if we need to add a little bit of water, we can. And I definitely think we need some water. And then we're going to add our mushrooms. And then our hamburger. Mix this up. And I'm going to add more water to it because it's really dry to me. My daughter's here. You going to try this?
Yay, a taste tester.
What is it?
It's mushroom beef tacos. She is a picky eater.
I'll eat it when you're done.
You can tell I've added quite a bit of water to it. I don't think you're going to be able to taste the mushrooms in here because I can smell that taco seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to serve it on a whole wheat tortilla bread.
Awesome.
My little assistant said it smells good. It does smell good.
It looks like regular meat over here from what I see in the camera. So, oh yeah, that looks delicious.
It just looks like regular taco. Ellen said it smells like Taco Bell.
Yeah, the picture on the website with the recipe looks like regular meat too. I don't even see the mushrooms.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it off. See if I can find me a little plate here to serve it.
I'll taste test it if you want me to.
Okay. I want to taste test it too. But total 30 minutes or less for this recipe, which is pretty good. Now sometimes with these, what I'll do is put them on a paper plate, get a wet paper towel and put over the top and put them in the microwave and heat them up. But remember, it's half a cup, okay? So I would say that's probably half a cup.
Can I come over here?
Yeah, you can come over here.
Now tell us the truth.
Okay.
She's a picky eater. She's a picky eater. You can eat over that plate.
Okay.
That way
I
it
don't want to
doesn't-
make a mess.
Well, it's good.
No texture issues.
Tastes like a taco, but you can like taste like that little bit of onion flavor, kind of. Not onion flavor, but mushroom.
Oh, I haven't got to it yet. I just got bread.
See, where I would mess up is I would start adding stuff, cheese and sour cream and all sorts of things.
Right.
And I do like our Eat Smart, Move More and our Weight Watchers at Work stuff now, and so that would be way too many points.
You know,
And
it's
I
not
see-
that salty.
I see on the recipe it says you can have shredded cabbage, lime wedges, or that ginger mango salsa. But what about cheese?
I'll get probably low-fat cheese. If you're going to get any, get a low-fat cheese. Even a low-fat sour cream. And when you put it on this kind of stuff, you really can't tell it's low-fat.
Yeah, I like the old extreme mission wraps. So that's you know kind of close. And I think the salsa probably would spice it up a bit. They got options on here to make the taco seasoning spicy with
Right.
cayenne. And I think I would probably do that. I might go to the store tonight to get
I
some
can feel a little, you know, I'm not a hot heat person,
stuff.
but I can feel the heat in it.
There is spice. Just a bit.
It has in that taco, it has Cajun in it, but it's a teaspoon. But to me, it's not very salty. With all that, it's not very salty at all.
That's good because I can definitely taste when there's some salt in some food or it's too salty and I can't eat it.
Right. Well, this to me is not. And I can't taste the mushrooms. And I normally can pick up on mushrooms, but it's good. I would make it again.
I'm trying to think. It tastes like how it
I
smells.
taste one of the spices in it. Maybe it is the cayenne. I can taste the cumin in it too. But
It seems
it's a
quick.
good recipe. I would make it again. And it tells you it has 10 grams of protein in it, so that's pretty high. It's 98 calories for a serving. And got 5 grams of fiber in it, 5 grams of fat. So it's pretty good.
So the key is you have to follow the serving size to get those.
Right, that's where we go wrong. That's where we go wrong. I hate to say it, but
I have a problem with serving size.
Is, but, you know, 3-ounce piece of meat, we get an 8-ounce, a 10-ounce. So that's where we go wrong. We have to be strong, and it's hard for us, you know, especially if it's good. It's hard for us to hold back. So, do y'all have any other questions for me? I hope you'll try this. I hope you'll go to their website and look at some more. I think you have the web address. Do you have the web address?
Yeah, I put it in the chat box. I'll also send out an email with the recipe. And again,
All right, check out those recipes. A lot of them are really good. And I really like that. I think it's pretty good. I'm going to finish it up for my supper tonight. Well,
You
that's
have
all I have.
recommendations on healthy eating amidst COVID, or what people should be doing to kind of keep barriers or keep themselves as healthy as possible?
I think just trying to get outside is the most important thing. You know, going out and walking, just to get outside. That's what I would encourage people to do now, is just to get out, because we've been so cooped up for so long.
Get out, but do it safely.
Yeah, get out and do it safely, and get your heart rate up, you know, when you're out there walking. But that's what I would encourage people to do.
do we have any more questions for Candy?
Hopefully before, you know, we used to do the county healthy cooking classes. So hopefully we can start those back up if you're a county employee. I don't know how many of you are county employees, but we're in this kitchen. And hopefully we can do that, where we would prepare a meal here, a healthy meal. And a lot of the meals that we prepare, I've never prepared them before. So you're tasting them when I taste them. And so far, they have been really good. So hopefully we can start that back up. And I'll put you in groups, and we'll have a dessert, a side, and a main dish. And we'll sit here and fellowship together and eat. And you take the recipes home, and hopefully you'll make them again. And most people do, what they told me. So
all of you are county employees?
I am, yeah.
Oh man, I'm out of the box then. I'm in the wrrong group.
no, you're not.
You're right. Perfect.
There's a little rain sunshine over there.
I don't eat meat. So I've been like 7 years off of meat. So I would do a lot of substituting to that recipe.
Yes.
I probably would choose chickpea as a protein. Something like that. I love mushrooms, but I don't eat cheese, so I'm not contented with that.
Mm-hmm.
What made you decide to stop eating meat?
7 years ago, I went to get my mammogram, and you know, like most of us, we go to get a mammogram, we think nothing about it. And so it was like a week of the results of the letter laid on the table for like a week. And I said, well, you know, I know it's good. I'm just going to keep on moving. So one morning I just had this unction to stop, open the envelope and read it. And when I read it, they said that they had found some, well, you know how doctors, they're going to immediately going to say cancer. So I got proactive, and I knew a very close friend that had dealt with cancer. So she had changed her total diet. So immediately I did a cold turkey. I mean, I literally came off all the meat, all the white, all the salt, all that overnight. Cause I was like, I can't die, I'm too young, you know? So 6 months from that point, when I came off, I went back to get my mammogram redone, and they said that the tumors had actually shrunk. So I'm like, okay, well, hey, you know, with prayer and people praying for me and me trying to do my best at changing my whole dynamics of eating. And then I went back 6 more months, and the tumors had disappeared. So wonderful. Needless to say, I wasn't going to retract what I had already laid the foundation for. So it was a little challenging at first. You're talking about years of eating whatever I wanted to eat. You know, sweets and all. I was addicted to chocolate. So I haven't had chocolate in 7 years. That's how addicted I was to chocolate.
You're devoted. You were devoted. Yes.
Yeah. So
That is wonderful discipline. I mean, I know it came from a medically motivating place, and I've heard stories such as that, but that's amazing. Because me and chocolate too, but me and cheese, it's the whole thing. I've done like the JJ's green smoothie thing before, where it's like, like a purge kind of thing. And I tried the vegan cheese during that time to kind of curb it a little bit. Just wasn't hitting. So I commend you, because that's hard to do.
it was. And the first 2 weeks were challenging, but like I said, I went cold turkey, and I think around that Thursday, I don't want to sound gross, but I actually threw up, and from that point on, it was easy sailing.
So you said chickpeas, you would grind them in place of the ground beef here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Chickpea, yeah, they're a good substitute for protein, and you can season them because they don't have a lot of seasoning to it. Kind of bland, but by the time you add your seasoning, it tastes really good. And I use chickpea for to make like potato salad, what I would call potato salad or tuna salad, and it's really good.
Huh.
Thanks for sharing, Deborah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I have a cousin who went vegan, and on accident I tasted like her vegan mac and cheese, and I was like, who made this? Because like I can definitely tell that it wasn't made like how my mom normally made it. So after I ate it, I was like, this is not, who made this? I mean, it wasn't nasty, but it was definitely different.
Believe it or not, I've never, even before I changed the way I was eating, I have never in my life, and I'll be 59 in August. I have never eaten macaroni and cheese. I never liked it. I never liked cheese. I never liked cheese. I don't even know what macaroni and cheese tastes like.
I love cheese, cream cheese. I love any kind of dairy.
I love cheese. Cheese doesn't really agree with me, but
Cream cheese, cottage cheese, sour cream.
And I've had vegan mac and cheese as well. I had a friend who was getting married, and she was on this cleanse thing and was pretty much vegan, low-key vegan before her wedding, months, like 5 or 6 months. And she made vegan mac and cheese as like her contribution to like a girls' friend cookout we did. And no one could tell. It was so delicious. I don't know what she did and put in it, but she tricked me and tricked me well. So I know I could probably do it, but I haven't found the cheese that speaks to my spirit like regular cheese does. Mm-hmm.
I mentioned earlier, I have found, I don't like to eat low-fat cheese plain, but if I put it on something, I can't tell it. Even when you put it in something like cream cheese, I can't tell it because we've used it in here in desserts and things, and tastes just like regular dessert,
And I do want to comment you the excellent presentation, and you was talking about the getting out and being more physical because of the pandemic. I was an avid gym goer, and of course they shut down the gyms and everything, and so come August of last year I realized I can't do this. I gotta move. So I started back in the gym and took up swimming and water aerobics, and went to the doctor for my annual, and she was like, your cholesterol is a little high. And I'm like, well, I haven't been in the gym in over a year. So she was like, she wanted to put me on some medicine, and I said, give me 6 months. And so 6 months, I stayed in the gym. I did the warm water aerobics, swimming. Went back and she did my tested my blood and everything, and my cholesterol literally dropped. So she was like, well, we're not going to talk medication anymore. So those things, you're right. You're on target. You got to get out there and you got to move. Even on them days you don't feel like it, you got to move.
That's just being disciplined. And you sound like you're pretty disciplined.
Now I am.
Right.
7 years ago, changed my world. Who you don't think to open up a letter and find that kind of results. So it changed my world.
Yeah.
I was gonna skip my rock tonight, but I'm not because you've convicted me now. Thanks, Deborah.
I'm gonna skip your